Hey guys, today we are answering a question that was asked of me. What have I been through? Okay, so what have I been through in life? Well, to be very blunt with y'all, I didn't pre-write anything. I'm just gonna try and go off of the top of my head. Um, I would let me go through the three biggest things. There were tons of things in between, but let me go down the three biggest things in my life that it really impacted me in many ways. Number one is I met this girl in 2007, and I met her through Xanga. Does anyone remember what Xanga was? Xanga was like a blogger, a website, social media website that you could post pictures, just write about your day and that kind of stuff. So I met her through there, and we started talking on AIM, or AIM, Instant Messenger, like everyone back then did. And I eventually met her at a line dancing place. I've never danced or line dance or any dance in anything at all. And I forget how it happened. I think she was there with her brother and a friend or a couple friends or something. And I went with my sister because my sister went there before. So it's basically a place where you can go line dancing. And yeah, yeah. So I don't know how it happened, but me and her slow danced. Let's just say that was awkward because I've never slow danced in my life. So yeah, that was interesting. Moving along, we dated for like 2 years, or together for a total of 2 years. I eventually asked her to marry me, both super young at the time. And to be very blunt with y'all, looking back, I was super, super, super immature over so many different things. Now, obviously in life, it takes two people, and I used to think, oh, it was just me, but now looking back, I realized that we both were really immature in so many childish ways, which, of course, we were young. I forget the exact age, but I really, really, really did love her. So the problem with that was it was young love, and I was really immature. Like, I was always a good kid, a good guy, but so immature. For example, I remember I used to go to her house and play a video game on her laptop. Like, that's what I'm talking about, immature. Or I think, like, if she wanted to go to a cabin, they had a cabin with other people, and I think a couple times I said no so I could stay home and play video games with my friends online instead of going to the cabin. And there was just other stuff, just other really immature stuff. Like, I remember making a big fuss over just this really, really childish, dumbest stuff, So we were engaged. I really forget how far away from the wedding. I don't think we really. I was just so immature over a lot of stuff. Like, so I look back and it's like, dude. So this. So yeah. Let's just say, I remember it very clearly that we both ended the relationship at mutual agreement, and that's how immature I was. I would be like, okay, I said, let's just end it. She said, can I kiss you one last time? I'm like, no. Like, that's just how immature I was. Even though I believe she was the love of my life, a soulmate at the time. And I was a dick. I don't swear much. You guys aren't gonna hear me, but I was a dick. I was just childish. Like, I was a good kid, a good person. I loved Christ, but I was a dick. I just didn't know any better. I was young. So we broke up. I tried to get her back. I tried to get her back doing all the wrong things. Like, the next day, I think I tried to get her back, and she didn't want anything to do with me. So then I started being mean, like, oh yeah, like that's gonna get her back. Like, now hindsight's 2020. After the fact, I found out that she was talking with other guys and other stuff, and like she would purposely change so I had my own trailer at the time, and she would change like the clock time so it would look like it's later so she could leave sooner. I don't know. A lot of people said she was cheating with someone else. I don't know. People have told me a lot of things over the years. Whatever. I don't really care. Or I didn't really care at that point. So, yeah, I was devastated because oftentimes when things happen, we realize what truly matters. I gotta set this phone out of the sunlight. It's hot. So I realized that she was someone that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Should have figured that out sooner. So, needless to say, we never got back together. Needless to say, I'm sure I was a dick over the years. At some point, I did write a long apology thing and send it on Facebook. I don't know if she ever got it or not. We don't talk, have not spoken have not even seen, I think like 10 years, maybe I don't know. I'm getting old. It's been a long time. So yeah, the problem with that was I really, really did love her. So I really did. From the bottom of my heart, I did. She was pretty much everything that I've wanted in a girl. And that wrecked my life because like 2 weeks later, she was already with someone else, which a lot of people said was the guy she was cheating on me with and stuff. I have no idea. I really don't know, the truth to that, but she did end up marrying him. So that's good. That's good. But yeah, 2 weeks later, she was already with that person, and out of spite, I basically went on 2 dates with 2 different girls, and because my mind wasn't right, I picked one girl over the other. There were 2 girls, and the one girl was, sweet, kind, really a nice girl, and then the other girl was not sweet, kind, and nice as well. But there were so many red flags. But I wasn't in the right mind, so I picked the wrong girl. I picked the one that had so many red flags, and you can often tell red flags by looking at their family. That's a big red flag. How they interact with their family, how their family treats their spouse, and all that stuff. So I jumped in a relationship just out of spite. I didn't give myself time to heal or anything, and to be very honest with you, I stayed in that toxic relationship. I even married that girl, and it just kept going downhill from there. Now, I have nothing against that girl anymore. So the girl that I guess you could call rebound girl that I was with, that I have nothing against her. I've forgiven her. I have made peace with how she treated me and how that whole scenario was. I did want to kill myself many times when I was with her because I'm not going to go into details, but she treated me like I was worthless and there was nothing I could do. A lot of times she wouldn't come home, and rumors that flew around that, and people told me things that she was doing with coworkers and stuff. I don't know what's true or not, and it doesn't matter because I've already moved on from it, made peace. So anyway, it took me 10 years to get over that first girl, and that's not exaggerating. It took me 10 years, like. And the problem is, and I've realized this now, when you have to find someone and be with somebody that can help you erase the old. So when I picked the rebound girl, we did stuff, we had fun, but it was just a nightmare. Most of it was a nightmare. I'd say 60-70% of it was a nightmare, but we had fun, don't get me wrong. There, we had a lot of fun and a lot of different things, and I just was a broken man. And I just, yeah. So anyway, that leads to the second major thing. So it took me 10 years to get over that first girl. And I do believe that we all have multiple soulmates. That's just my personal opinion. I believe that there is more than one guy or girl out there that can truly make you happy. I really believe that. It took me 10 plus years to realize that, and I didn't realize that. So I was married and with that other girl for 5+ years, and at my lowest of lows, like lowest of lows, I let go of myself. I hated myself. I really didn't care if I lived or died. I was eating a lot. I was secretly inside hoping I got diabetes or something bad, because I didn't want to care anymore. That's how she made me feel, and I just didn't want to live life. I really didn't. I didn't care. And that was 2014. I was at my biggest weight. Like, there's a photo of me on Christmas Day at her parents' house, sitting on the sofa. And when I say that, like, I took up like the whole picture, it was bad. Like, I was really unhealthy. My BMI was over 40. So body mass index was over 40. I think 29% is considered obese for a male. Yeah, over 40. I think it was like 41 or something percent. That's how bad I was. And I was at my low. Luckily, God saved me. God actually spoke inside my heart and my soul. Literally, I heard him. He spoke into me and said, Scott, I have a bigger life, bigger future for you. This is not who you're supposed to be. Rise up. I'm with you. I ended up divorcing her. And that was... So getting over the first girl, which at this point, I still wasn't over her. In 2014, I still was not over the first girl. Because I thought I lost my soulmate. I thought I really did. So the second girl, we were together for 5 years. Going through divorce was one of the hardest things I ever had to do in my life, because I did not want to. The last 2 years of our marriage was getting so bad that it was making me sick. I begged God, somehow change her, somehow change me. What can I do? And I tried everything. I went through books and books and books. I tried everything on how a husband should act, and nothing. Sometimes you just can't. There's nothing you can do in life that's going to make them see who you are. There's just nothing you can do. And I thought there was. As I get older, I think there's something I can do and stuff. I can fix things. Sometimes I realize you can't. It's not on you. It shouldn't be on you. So after begging God and begging pretty much daily, crying at night, when my wife wouldn't come home or would show up at midnight, begging God, at my low, God told me, okay, it's time to move on. So I moved on. And that's where we come now to the last 9 years of my life. So the first girl, if it's hard for someone who has never truly been in love to understand how I felt with the first girl. I believed she was one of my soulmates. I still believe that of today, that she was one of my soulmates, but I now realize and I now understand that I do believe there's more than one soulmate. And there's more than one person for a specific person. I've come to believe that 100% now. So, divorcing my wife was one of the hardest things because I don't believe in divorce. But when your wife doesn't come home or spends more time at her family than you and makes we're not going into that. I've forgiven her. I hope she's living her best life. I really pray that, she's having her best life and that she's choosing Christ over everything else. So anyway, we're moving on from that. I have no hard feelings against her whatsoever. I've asked for forgiveness if I've done anything wrong, and I've forgiven her. So moving on. And I hope she's living her best life and realizes that Christ is all that matters in the end. Okay, so meeting my wife that I have now, I fell in love with her smile. We dated for 2 years, dated for 1 year, got engaged for a year, and then we got married. Been married for the last 5 years. And I would say 2 years ago, I finally realized that I finally fully let go of the very first girl. I finally let go. I finally healed from it. I finally realized that, there's more to life, and I was truly happy. Now, a lot of you people know, a lot of you guys know, recently I've been praying, asking for prayers on some major things, what I call my worst nightmare. And I'm not going into personal details because that's too personal. But I want to say that it's nothing I could have expected. There's nothing I could have done. There's nothing I could have changed. There's nothing I could have done to not enter this phase of life. So again, getting over the first girl was one of the hardest things in my life. Filing for divorce was one of the hardest things in my life. And then recently, something happened that was harder than both of those other things combined. Things that I found out and things that it destroyed me. It broke me down to my foundation. However, here's the thing. Now that I've had weeks of healing, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of listening with Christ and talking with Christ on the subject and situations. Again, I'm not going to answer questions on exactly what took place. I truly thank everyone for their prayers because prayers work. Prayers really work. All I can say about the situation is with Christ, things are getting better. And my foundation, when I say my walls completely crumbled before my eyes, they completely crumbled. I was knocked down to my foundation that I always talk about, Christ. And I realized that my foundation truly is on Christ and truly is solid and truly cannot be broken. Satan came at me with everything he had. When I say everything that you could think of that could happen, Satan came after me. He came after me materialistic things. He came after me emotionally, and so many things he came after me in the last month. I'm telling you, if you were in my position, you would know that Satan is real. You would know to your core. And I didn't let him win. We didn't let him win. So with that being said, I faced my demons. I faced the hardest time in my life, and I broke Satan's chains. But here's the thing on the other side of your worst nightmare. Satan attacked me in an area that he knew would hurt me the most in life. He knew that this thing that he was going to hit me with, it's something that me personally would be my worst nightmare. And he hit me with it. But he didn't break me. Not only did he not break me, I actually realized, and Christ made me realize, while he's attacking me in this one area, I'm actually going to go on the offense, and I attacked him in other areas that he had chains on me that were hard to break, and I broke them. I'm so proud to say right now that my lowest of lows, my foundation, not my foundation, but my walls and everything crumbling around me, led to me breaking more chains than Satan, I think, ever thought would happen. I think Satan thought he would put more chains on me, but I broke all his chains. All his chains that have been on me. There was a chain on me that was there since I was 13 years old. I broke it. And the weight's gone. Things are getting better. And that's not to say that something's going to happen in the future. That's not to say that, bad times are gone forever. It's to say that right now, in this moment, Satan lost and Christ won. And that is definitely thanks to all of your prayers. So I don't think there's ever going to come a day. Well, there might. I don't know. I can't say never that I'll talk about what exactly happened, but it's not my place to talk about what happened. Some things are just too personal that yeah. So those are things that I've been through. I have been broke, and I've had money. I've had no debt, and I've been swamped in debt. And that's just a couple things in my life. But those are the three pillar things. The one thing took place in 2009. The one took place in 2014. And the one thing took place in 2024. Three things that wrecked my world, that rocked my world, and not in the fun rock. But the last thing, even though it was the hardest thing in my life, I'm grateful for it happening because it's changed me for the better. I truly believe Satan went to God and said, hey, watch what I do to your son Scott. Watch this. Watch him crumble. Watch him hate you. Watch him turn against you. And I truly believe that God said, okay, don't do it, but okay. And I truly believe that God's looking down at me right now and he's saying, that's my boy. That's my boy. I had all the reasons to just completely reset. God gave me all the reasons. Life gave me all the reasons to completely reset and just do a 360. And I think God is proud, saying, that's my boy. Choosing the harder path, but not only that, but actually understanding what Satan's doing and then attacking Satan in the areas that he was holding me hostage since I was a kid. Yeah, I know Christ is proud of me. So when you are in your lowest of valleys, here's my recommendation for you. When you're facing something so horrible you don't know what to do, I want you to do this. I want you to stand steadfast on whatever Satan's attacking you at, on, let's just say it's your health. I want you to stand steadfast on that, and then secretly I want you to go and attack the chains that have been holding you back in other areas that Satan is leaving you vulnerable. They're open now. So Satan has a stronghold somewhere far away on something else in your life. I want you to stand steadfast while Satan's focusing all of his attention on that one thing, trying to get you discouraged. I want you to sneak out back and break all the other chains that he has on you, because those chains are easier to break when he's focused on here. And then you come back full force and you blow up him and you say, no, Satan, no. I'm stronger because Christ made me stronger. So guess what? All those other chains that you had linked to me, they're gone. Oh, by the way, this thing that you're attacking me with and you're trying to bring me down, it's in Christ's hands. He's my foundation. We're going to get through it together. I'm going to take these idle hands and I'm going to, let's say it's health. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to start eating right. Satan, goodbye. I don't care what you're going to do. Goodbye, Satan. So that's just a little bit on me.